Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful Thursday, November 6th recap. Steffy slams Sheila then takes surprising Brooke and Ridge stance. The Bold and the Beautiful BNB recap for Thursday, November 6th, reveals that Steffy Forrester Finnegan Jacqueline McInnes Wood slammed Sheila Sharp Kimberlyn Brown before taking a surprising Brooke Logan Forrester Catherine Kelly Lang and Ridge Forrester Torsten K stance. In Taylor Hayes Rebecca Budig office, Deacon Sharp Sean Cannon showed up and insisted he wanted to keep being her patient. Since Taylor had been such a lifeline for Deacon, he had nothing but praise for her. Deacon felt he could help Taylor too and made a big speech about her needing to put Ridge behind her. As Deacon held Taylor's hand, he spoke about no one being more deserving of respect and love than her. At Il Giardino on Thursday's BNB episode, Steffy confronted Sheila about her role in keeping Luna Nozawa's Lisa Yamada survival a secret. Sheila pointed out that Luna was locked up for good, but Steffy assumed Sheila hadn't faced any consequences for her own actions. However, Sheila disagreed since she almost lost Deacon over her secrets until Taylor convinced him to come back to her. Sheila credited Taylor with saving her marriage and assured Steffy that she'd be forever in her mom's debt. At Forrester Creations, Steffy met up with Ridge and Brooke. Although Steffy took a couple jabs about Ridge's insta-marriage to Brooke, she knew he still cared about Taylor and always would. Although Steffy wasn't pleased over Ridge breaking his promises to Taylor, she acknowledged that it happened because he almost lost his Logan. Brooke's near-drowning ordeal had a profound impact on Ridge, so Steffy understood what pulled him back in her direction. When Brooke brought up the idea of Taylor finding another guy, Steffy assumed Brooke would like that. The comment implied that Steffy thought Brooke wanted to keep Taylor out of the way, but Brooke seemed genuine about wanting Taylor to be happy. Steffy was convinced that Taylor would indeed find happiness with someone else and stayed positive about her mom's future. Of course, Steffy doesn't realize that a spark has already developed between Deacon and Taylor. It'll be interesting to see how that spark develops from here and how everyone will react when the news inevitably leaks. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Taylor and Deacon have more temptation ahead of them, so stay tuned for all the drama that it'll bring. The morning light poured over the cliffs above the ocean as they glittered in sharp angles around the Forrester estate, but the calm sunrise held none of the peace Steffy Forrester was seeking. She stood in the main office at Forrester Creations, arms crossed, eyes locked on the window as if the breeze might offer answers. Instead, the door snapped open behind her, and today's storm walked in on familiar heels. Sheila Carter. Her presence felt like poison in the room. There was no invitation. There never was. She simply materialized, as though summoned by chaos itself, and Steffy stiffened at the sound of her voice. Sheila began to speak, her tone disarmingly passive, attempting to paint herself as a misunderstood victim. She claimed that everyone had exaggerated her misdeeds, that she simply wanted peace, that she had changed. She spoke of her relationship with Deacon as proof how love had softened her, given her purpose, made her want to evolve. Steffy spun around, eyes blazing. She did not let Sheila get far. Changed Steffy's voice sliced the air, demanding how many times they were expected to forgive, to listen, to pretend Sheila's crimes were missteps instead of life-altering trauma. She reminded her of Finn's near-death, her own near-death, and the shattering memories of bullets on the floor and blood on the walls. Steffy told her that redemption was not hers to claim merely because she wished it. Redemption required accountability, and Sheila had never paid for the damage she'd caused. Not fully. Not remotely. Instead, she flitted from life to life, rewriting her story every time she slipped away from justice. Sheila tried to defend herself, saying she never meant to hurt her son, never wanted the violence that transpired. She insisted that she and Finn could have a future if Steffy would only stop interfering. That was the moment Steffy's fury sharpened into something dangerous. She told her, cold and unwavering, that she was not the reason Finn rejected Sheila. Sheila herself was. Her lies, her violence, her obsession, those were the reasons she would never be a real mother to Finn, never a grandmother to Hayes. Steffy vowed that as long as she breathed, Sheila would never get close enough to damage her family again. Sheila, cornered by logic and memory, shifted strategies. She spoke of love, her love for Finn, her desire to be a part of something beautiful. She claimed Deacon believed in her, and that should mean something. Steffy laughed, a sound void of humor, and called it what it was: manipulation. Deacon was her latest puppet, another man pulled into her web. She doubted this new wedding Deacon had planned would lead to anything but disaster. Steffy warned Sheila to leave now before security arrived. Sheila, rattled, realized there was no winning today. With a venomous look, she stormed out, the tension trailing behind her like smoke. Silence settled, but it was brief. Ridge walked in only moments later, having caught wind of Sheila's presence. He demanded to know what she wanted. Steffy repeated everything: Sheila's claims of change, her romantic declarations, and her delusional hope for a future with Finn. Ridge's anger simmered. He wanted Sheila gone permanently, locked away, erased from their world. But Steffy's mood had shifted. There was more on her mind than Sheila. She looked at her father with weary eyes, studying him before speaking. She told Ridge she wanted to talk about Brooke. Ridge paused, utterly thrown. Steffy took her seat behind the desk, no longer the daughter begging her father to come home or the executive demanding order. She spoke from a place of observation and reluctant acceptance. She told Ridge that, for all their disagreements, Brooke had been consistent. She had defended him, stood by him, and chosen love over rivalry. Life was unpredictable, and after Sheila's appearance, Steffy was reminded of how fragile everything was. Maybe, she said, what matters most is choosing who makes you stronger. She acknowledged Brooke's love for Ridge even if it annoyed her at times. Ridge reminded her that she long believed Taylor was the better choice. Steffy nodded. She still loved her mother fiercely and always would. But Taylor had moved on. She was building her own life and had spoken about releasing her hopes for a future with Ridge. Steffy wasn't endorsing Brooke in some dramatic shift. She was simply acknowledging truth. Brooke wasn't going anywhere, and maybe she shouldn't. Ridge stood, stunned. He did not expect this. Steffy explained that she wanted peace for her children, for Finn, for their family. She couldn't keep fighting battles that should have ended years ago. The war between Brooke and Taylor exhausted them all, and if one card remained standing, it appeared to be Brooke. Ridge thought for a moment. He placed his hand on her shoulder, moved by her maturity. Steffy took a deep breath and admitted that after seeing Sheila again, her perspective changed. Brooke was flawed, but she wasn't evil. Brooke could irritate her, but she wasn't a threat. And compared to Sheila, she was practically a guardian angel. She told Ridge that if he chose Brooke again, really chose her, she wouldn't fight it. She would support him. The weight of those words lingered in the air. Ridge promised nothing, but the idea of peace was tempting. As they spoke, Finn appeared at the doorway. He heard that Sheila had been there and rushed to be sure Steffy was all right. She explained everything, leaving nothing out. Finn looked conflicted. Sheila's shadow always threatened to steal his peace, but with Steffy holding firm, he felt grounded. They embraced, both eager to shut out the darkness hovering around them. Back at Il Giardino, Sheila paced like a caged animal. Deacon approached her, trying to understand what had happened. Sheila ranted that Steffy would do anything to keep Finn away, that she refused to see her transformation. She was tired of proving herself to the Forrester world. Deacon tried to calm her, insisting that love would win if they remained steady. But Sheila's expression hardened. She vowed that Steffy had pushed her too far. Sheila whispered that if Steffy wanted a war, she'd get one. Meanwhile, in the Forrester office, Steffy stood taller, a woman prepared. One enemy at the door, another conflict at peace, and a future she'd shape with clarity. The day had begun with rage and ended with resolution. But peace in Los Angeles never lasted long.